everyone. Today we are going to discuss critical path method, another important topic of PMP exam. This topic is important in scheduling of the projects. So what is a critical path? It is a path through a network diagram that takes the longest duration to complete. It helps to calculate the shortest time in which the project could be completed. So what does that mean? In order to understand critical path, we have to draw a network diagram. This network diagram contains a series of activities organized based on their dependencies. We will create a network diagram of the project room renovation. This is a simple project, and I believe everyone can correlate these tasks, these activities with their daily lives. Here you can see that task A is remove old furniture, which has a duration of 1 day. Task B is paint the walls, which has a total duration of 2 days. If we compare task B and task A, we can see that task B cannot start until task A is finished. So task B is dependent on completion of task A. Similarly, task C is dependent on task B. But when we compare task C and D, we can see that install new floorings and install light fixtures. Both of these activities can be done in parallel. Those activities which can be done in parallel are mapped out on the network diagram in the same manner. If we draw a network diagram of these activities, this can be drawn like this. Task A has a duration of 1 day, like we just discussed. Task B 2 days, C 3 days, D 1 day, and E 1 day. We first have to calculate number of paths in this network diagram. Since this is a simple project, it has few number of paths. We can see that one path is A, B, C, and E, and other path is A, B, D, and E, like this. Path number 1 is A, B, C, E. The total duration of this path is 7 days. It is calculated by adding the duration of each activities. Another path, we can say path number 2, is A, B, D, E. This path has a total duration of 5 days. If we compare both of these paths, we can see that path number 1 has the longest duration. And since this network diagram has only two paths, we can simply say that path number 1 is the critical path. One important thing to note about critical path is that if any activity on the critical path gets delayed, the whole project will be delayed in the same proportion. In other words, we can say that the critical path has a zero float. We will cover float in detail in a separate video. Projects having more than one critical path has added risk in it, because in those scenarios, a project manager will have to manage multiple critical paths. And if any activity on those paths gets delayed, it will affect the whole project.